Hello, hello. It is Tuesday and it's time for some creative time, right? Welcome for joining me. I'm glad you're here. My phone. Don't know where that ended up at. Um, but that's all right. I was going to check something on it. Just go ahead and say hello in the comments and let me know where you're coming from. I'm glad that you're here. I've thought I was going into a couple of my pages, but it looks like I'm just doing one. I'm going to take a second, and while I'm waiting for people to show up, then I will check this out. How was your holiday? Did you get to do anything super creative? Was it anything? Okay, good. We're showing up there. That's great. And I guess it's just not on my personal page. We're not showing up. Well, we might be. Who knows? Who knows? It's hard to tell on this sometimes what's really going on and what's not, right? I don't know. Do you always know what's going on? Because sometimes I have no clue. No, it doesn't look like it's on my personal page. That's okay. That's all right. We won't mind. We're just going to have some fun here. And I brought a couple of things I wanted to share with you. And so I'm going to jump right in because once I get through with this sharing with you, then I'm going to take some time to do some more creating on my own. And I always look forward to that. I'm going to share with you some ideas. Hello, I'm glad you're here. Let me know if you are watching me from the Facebook page or if you're on in my little art village. There is a location there. You should be able to make a comment. Let me know if you can, if you're from there, where you're at actually watching me. That always helps. I'm Kathy Freeman. Thank you for joining me. What I'm going to share with you here today is a couple of things. First off, I wanted to share with you how I created this. I did this over a couple of days back, and it's part of my June projects that I'm going to be doing with my art sisters. Where's the one? This is actually the one I'm going to be doing with them and teaching them how to do. I love this one. Loved all the colors in it and just that vibrancy. And we talk about how you can mix together some fluorescent pink and yellow to get this wonderful orange that's showing up here. But I had so much fun creating that for them that I wanted to go ahead and just doodle around myself. And so I call this Scribble and Doodles. Rose's Scribble and Doodles. And I'm going to share with you how to do this yourself because I find that it's super relaxing when you can create and not have to worry about. Number one, I always give a template to my members, something that they can transfer and trace if they choose. And there's nothing wrong in doing that. It's very helpful. Once in a while, like this next month, I've also got one where I'll be teaching them a little bit about sketching themselves. But so we try a few different things. It's not always the same, but this is the pattern that I give to them to download. And because of the size, I give it to them in a couple of sizes. But the size that I wanted, which is this right here, the 14 by, I think 20 is what it is, then you have to copy off the pattern in 4 different sections. And it's easy to do on your printer, and we talk about how to do that. But as you print that off and transfer it on, you trace it on, then you start painting it. And this is painted with acrylics. And as you're loosely, I've talked to them about, let's just loosely create this. Let's not try to get every single area. And as you paint back and forth, and this is just me working on this, I had so much fun just layering the paint and layering the paint and layering the paint. And it is, I don't know how many layers in there of different colors and shades of pinks and oranges and yellows, and loved certain parts of it, didn't love other parts. So I went back and reworked it until I was really satisfied. And then this is probably my own personal style, but I do love a little bit of the outlining and the fine lines that's created. drawn here. So once you let it dry completely, and then come back with a jelly roll and start to just scribbly sketch. And I want to tell you, I actually did that a couple of times. The nice thing about this is you can, if you have a little cloth that's wet, you can actually take it off right away. If you do it and you're like, oh, I don't really like that, you can make sure your acrylic's dried. Obviously, you have to, but you can take it off and redo it. So you're not stuck. I think a lot of times for myself, and maybe for you also, is you feel that little bit of hesitation of, oh my goodness, what if that line's not the way it needs to be? And so we don't loosen up and allow ourselves to just create and scribble a little bit. And so that's how you can create that. The background, I use the background quite a bit to help these pop out. And it's called painting the negative. And so I would come back over and redefine the flower itself by using some of the colors in that. Let me get that up here a little better. By using some of the colors to go in and redefine the shape of the flower and recreate, because maybe it started like this one actually was a little rounded and I didn't care for it. So just came back in and worked on the negative space of it, the outside of it, and helped to redefine that. So that is this little project, an easy, fun thing to do. You could do this on watercolor paper if you want to. And I'm giving them the template size that's a 9x12. The pattern size is for a 9x12 so that they can do that. Another thing I want to suggest is don't make everything exactly the same in your art when you're creating something. For example, these two little roses right here, everything else I have outlined, but I've left two that are very faint. There are no lines involved in it. There's nothing, but you can still tell that they're in there. And then the other thing too is the color in here. Some of the color, I added some of the same color I would have used here to so that it looks like there's flowers going on in the background and things happening there. So that is what's going on in this particular art piece. Also, yeah, the leaves, I wanted them to not be dominant by any means. And so I faded them away a little bit, used the colors, but then came back in with a blue, which is highly irregular, to outline them. If I had used a white, they would have stood out a lot more, been more dominant, but I didn't want them to be the focal point of it. And as you look at this, these two flowers, because their dominance become the focal point, it would be nice if I could just have maybe one be the dominant, which would mean perhaps emphasizing, and that's something I can go back in and, let something dry, come back and look at it and reevaluate your piece. But that's something I can do, is come back in and emphasize one of these a little bit more than the other so that it becomes the focal point, the main thing that you see first. And then you'll go around and look at all of the painting in that together. So that's that project right there. And I think it's a fun one. I wanted to encourage you to let loose, paint a little bit, and have fun. Now, this week, I also gave them out a handout with this little template for coloring. And I thought, that would be fun just to do today with you. This goes along with the Grow Joy journaling section that they have access to in the little art village. And I've got a story in there that talks about a town that's so blasé and it has no color. And then one little gal, she loves color. She doesn't want to break any of the rules or anything, but she's just thinking, I really would love to have a little color around me. And so what she does is she paints her door. And she paints a blue, sky blue, and then she paints this sunflower on it. And as the neighborhood comes by and they look at it, and the purpose of this is just to give you an idea, you're wondering, what are we talking about? This month in Grow Joy, the focus, the whole theme has been about creativity and that need for creativity in our life and the purpose that it serves and how we can really amp that up and emphasize that in our life and all of the different roles that it plays. It's not just creating, art. It really helps us in so many areas. And so anyway, this is the last lesson that we have in this little story that goes with it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and paint my door with you today. And if you are part of my Art Sisters, you will find this in your Grow Joy journaling page in your library, in your section in the library. And you can easily copy this, transfer it down, and have it to create something yourself. All right. A little coloring page that makes it kind of fun. And I'm going to use watercolor, but I'm also going to use my acrylic pastels. Love those. So let's just give it a good little watering here. Bring this color in. The sky blue door. And the purpose that I'm doing with this today for the Grow Joy is I wanted to make the emphasis that your art does not need to take a long time. But just giving yourself a few minutes, and how wonderful coloring pages are, or transferring an image onto something. So great for just give you a little bit of time. Because what happens when we're being creative is our mind is processing through, and you're actually figuring out and working out other problems and situations that you have going on in your life. And it helps to silence parts of your mind and allows other parts to just really step up, take place of what needs to. There's our blue door. Okay, I'm going to stop with go ahead and dry this. Unplugged that the other day. Let's plug it back in and dry that. Okay. Wow, this one is actually a watercolor pencil. Let me get my acrylic pencil. Sunflower. Let's use this yellow right here. I love these because they're so buttery. I could have pulled out my acrylic paints and worked on this, but no. Let's just keep it simple for you today. Keep it simple. use your finger and smudge that out. Bring that around. Need to actually use this orange. I don't have every color of these pencils, but what I do have, I love. Can you see taking this with you if you are on the road a little bit? How simple and easy this would be. Paints that on there. That's just the blending of colors back and forth. Got this little one down here. Now I can go back. I'll work on this some more after I'm actually videoing here with you, because some of the things that's just popping in my mind right now, I don't have on my table, but I can see this maybe with some stucco, which actually I don't have stucco, but what I would use is my modeling paste, and I don't have that with me, or I would use my gesso and create that. Just take your palette knife and do a little bit down here, and it would create that wonderful texture. I would add. So as I continue working on this a little bit today, then I'll post it back on this page, and you can see the final. Here, see, I'm not going to color that, or, just give a little bit of color to something, the indication of what it should be. Don't feel like you have to color the whole thing in. Let's see, we'll call these the rocks. I love working on cobblestone. It's actually quite fun to watercolor using grays. But for those in my Art Sister group, Grow Joy group, follow along here, and we'll paint this together. Let's see. I don't think I have a gray. Oh, I do have a gray, but it's a watercolor gray. Here's a kind of a black. Just blend that all together. Oh, we're coming right along. Now, for the posts, and I'm going to give it what's the word? I just left my brain. Terracotta. There we go. Don't you hate it when something kind of loses your... So let's turn these tiles into like terracotta tiles. There again, I'm just doing parts of it. And then using my finger to just blend it out. That gives me the values, change of values that I need. It's a fun summer. Make that really dark. Pull that up so you can see it. I've got my camera up quite high because of the project I was working on. And then our wood here. This is a old village, little cottage. Now I'm going to take my brush, wet it, and this is not watercolor. This is acrylic. I'm going to just blend that a little bit down. If you have watercolor pencils, this is what you'd be doing with that also. Blending that in. A lot of water. Let's see. Paper towel. Got some on here. I want to keep this white. So I'm going to kind of scuff it up a little bit and pull it back up. Let's make these flowers a vibrant. Make them a red. I'm going to make this a gray, taupey gray. Go back over some of the stone. Fantastic. Now I don't have, like I said, I don't have my modeling paste that I want to put on here. I'm going to go straight to the grays. I'm just wetting it right here. Grab this gray. There's a little texture. And then let's try this. Let's dribble some white paint. See, we're just having fun experimenting. That's what this whole thing is about. I don't know if this is clogged up. I haven't used this in a little while. So it may be clogged up. Let's see. Oh, my palette knife is covered in that color. I think it's dry. Shouldn't come off. If it does, it'll be exciting. I'm using the white paint to simulate kind of a stucco effect on it. Gives it that unevenness. Oops, I closed it. Thinking, why is that not coming out? We're going to let that sit and dry. That's going to give a really great texture effect to it. There again, if you've got modeling paste, you could use your gesso and do this. Give it a great, great look. All right. And that is our project for today. Use this on this door a little. Oops. Use a little of the darker blue. Give it a little punch. There's our door. See that cute little story. All right. Let that dry and I'll post it on the page so you can see it, but there's our picture. All right. Thank you for joining me today. And my encouragement is to don't make it complicated. Don't feel like you have to make this super project that's got a lot going. Get yourself a template of some kind, maybe some stencils, whatever, and just get out your colors and create and have yourself some fun, whether it's doing a coloring page or, if you want to bring out your acrylic paints, just add color and have fun. All right. This is Kathy Freeman, and thank you for joining me today. I will be seeing you again next week, same time, 12 o'clock Central on this channel. Have a great day, y'all.